So we can now go back to the view controller. And here, so I'm going to make some space here. Actually, even view did load. I don't want to see all of this. Right, okay, so in here, every time that the user will tap on the screen, we are going to perform what we call a hit test. So this is going to be an AR scene, AR hit test, which is different from a scene hit test, and I want to show you the difference. So every time the user taps, that's going to be called by a function which you may be familiar with, which is touchesBegan. Let me make more space here. And in here, I'm going to perform a hit test. So let hit test equals, and here I can call my scene view and a hit test. Now be careful not to select the SCN hit test result, but we need the AR hit test results. Okay. Now in here, what we do is that we need to make sure that the point is going to be the one that we have in the center that we added, so the circled dot, and that's going to be obviously in our view.center. And here we can have different AR hit test results types. So for today we are going to only use the feature point, and I'm going to show you how to use those. Our hit test has a count because the hit test will return more than just one result, and the one we are interested in is the last one. So the hit tests will give us, as I said, multiple results, and they are ordered from the closest to the furthest from the camera. Okay, so here we are going to take the last, which is the furthest possible from the camera, and we are going to call this our result. Equals is hit tests dot last. Okay, now our results will have a world position, a transform. So let's try and get this transform. So let transform equals results dot world transform, but this could not exist, so we have to have our guards here. So guards and else return. Okay, so now we are 100% sure that our transform exists. And so if you're not familiar with transforms, they are a matrix float 4 by 4, which means that you have 4 numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 4 times. So this is what a transform would look like. Okay, and we are interested in here x, y, and z. Okay, it's really not happy with what I'm doing right now, but just to show you that we have column 0 here, column 1, column 2, column 3, and then in column 3 we've got x, y, and z, and those are, as you probably recognize, a position in space, right? So this is what we want to get. We want to transform we want to convert, this transform into a position. Now to do this, we are going to say let position equals, and then I can call my transform dot columns dot 3, and then we've got, as you can see here, x, y, and z. Okay, so I'm going to call this third column. Yeah, okay. And now I can create my position. That's going to be, so just one more step, but I think it's going to make sense. So third column, and now I can do scn vector 3 make, and from the third column I'm going to get my x, and I can copy and paste to have y and z. Okay, so that's great. We now have the exact position, the world position of our heat test. So in order to visualize where that is, we are going to create a tiny little sphere. So let sphere geometry equals scn sphere. So hopefully you're very familiar with all of this now. The radius is going to be 0.0.0.012. Let's try this. Let's try this and see how big this looks. Is that 2 millimeters? I think that might be a bit small actually. So let's do 5. So that should be a 1 centimeter sphere. Okay. Then we are going to create a node. So let sphere node equals scn node. And obviously, as usual, here we are going to pass our geometry. So that's going to be our sphere geometry. Okay, and then we can add this sphere node to our scene view. So scene view dot scene dot root node dot add child node. Okay, and then here we have our sphere node. Now, obviously, we want to make sure that our sphere node is in the right position. So our sphere node dot position equals our position that we created here. So position. Okay, and there you go. You have now performed a heat test. So if I look around and when I start tapping, you can see how we now start to add points on the bar. That's great. Let's see if that works in here. Yeah, it seems to be not exactly in place. What about you here? So if I do this, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so this is working. You can have a lot of fun with this and start to add lots of points everywhere. Let's see if I look there, if the point looks much smaller. Yes, it does. Okay, cool. So this is working. Excellent. Let's take it a step further in the next video.